Here, I'm Florence Hedin, and I'm membership chair. So that's how I happen to have the microphone in my hand today. And we're very, very pleased to have new people here, people who have been with us in the past and are coming back. We're very excited about it. I just wanted to take this time, however, for each person to say who they are. Now, I know everybody has been talking about their fun summer things, so that's all taken care of, right? You know what your fun summer things are. I don't know what yours are yet, but you know, okay, all right. But if you would please say your name and how long you've been a part of the League of Women Voters Park Rapids area. And if it's past, that's fine. And if it's just brand new, that is fantastic. And if you are just our friend, we love you too, and we're very pleased you're here. Voters Minnesota, and Terry Khalil is also our neighbor. Terry comes from Detroit Lakes, and I'm very, very happy to know her through the state board we were on together. And we have worked in a variety of different things. So very, very pleased that she's here. And she will share her bits of wisdom about why membership is needed to make democracy work.
Thank you, Florence. So my story is, if any of you from Becker County were around, you might remember Carolyn Engebretson. Leah's nodding. I'm going to tear up. She was a county commissioner for many, many years. A heart as big as the universe. So passionate about the disadvantaged. And the Detroit Lakes League, which had been around since the 70s, kind of went into a state of decline and eventually lapsed in the early 90s. And about 2004, she and I were just, frankly, a little pissed off about a lot of things in Becker County, and we just decided we're going to try this. We called a meeting to see who might be interested. People showed up. And then I made probably one of the bigger mistakes, or had the good fortune, depending on what day you ask me. We were talking about doing candidate forums, because it was an election year, and whoever was facilitating said, is there anybody here who knows how to plan an event that could maybe organize them? I used to be a meeting planner and a PR person and a marketing type, so I raised my hand. That was 2004. And it's really hard some days to say that I'm the state president, because I just love this work so much. I joined the state board in 2012 as voter service co-chair. I was so fortunate to have a wonderful mentor from down near the cities, taught me so much more. And I've spent a lot of time doing voter service, trying to upgrade the program, bring all of us up, bring the quality of our work up, bring the brand up, things like this. And when I was asked to be state president, I started laughing at it, like, no. You can't mean me. Turns out there had never been a state president from greater Minnesota. 96 years at that point. Well, if you think about it, technology wouldn't have allowed it. You know, there was just no way. And Florence, I had known before from both of our work on lake associations and water quality. And she and I made the trek with Carter, coming down for board meetings. And what I learned in those early years was greater Minnesota's voice needs to be represented at the state level, because what happens out here is a whole lot different in league than it is in the cities. And I'm going to talk a little about that in just a second. So we now have a state president from greater Minnesota, and they're learning things down there, like the fact that not all of us have access to broadband on an unlimited basis, and some of us pay hundreds of dollars every month for that privilege. That was kind of a shock to a lot of people down there. So I won't get off on that soapbox. Making democracy work. let's just talk about that for a second. I don't think I have to tell you that the state of our government, our democracy, is at peril. Look no further than your radio in your car as you go home. Turn it on. I will guarantee you within 10 words you will hear one name. Think about the lack of civil discourse that's out there. It's appalling. I think we have campaigns focused on personality, not policy, and I think that's really unfortunate. But here's something that's even more unfortunate. How many uncontested races are there in Hubbard County right now? I bet there's a lot. In Becker County, there's 3 county commission seats open, 3 incumbents filed. City Council, there's 7 spots, there's 8 candidates. And even a new candidate, and this is nothing about him, but he ran unopposed. He doesn't have to campaign, he doesn't have to say what he thinks about anything, he's already got the job. The school board in Detroit Lakes is another story. We've got 9 candidates for 3 seats. But we've also had 3 failed referendums, so that tells you where voter interest is. But how do we have a discussion about politics, about democracy, if we don't have good candidates? It really says a lot about what people think about our government, what they think about our democracy, what they think about elections, voting, all of it. We've got partisan gridlock, I'm not even going to mention that. And then there's money, which I think is at the heart of a lot of it. It's corporate money, it's big money. We don't know where it's coming from. We don't know if it's even true, a lot of what they say. And I suspect in the next 2 months, your mailbox is going to be overflowing. Please recycle. And then we've got voter restrictions. If you were here in 2012, you remember the voter ID fight. There's a case in court right now that nobody really is paying any attention to. A group is trying to get rid of the same-day voter registration. The idea that you can register and vote on the same day. They've sued the Secretary of State, and that happened, I want to say, in July. The State League signed on to an amicus brief saying, we support this. We are not opposed to it. In fact, we want it to continue. Interestingly, the state Supreme Court has just let it sit there. The last filing was July 25th. They haven't ruled. I suspect they're letting it die a natural death because as of about yesterday, I think it was, the ballots have to be printed. So if they don't rule, it's too late. But it's just another example of how how certain people are trying to restrict access. Shorter voting hours, fewer polling places, incredible demands to register to vote. That there are people of an age they can't produce, or new citizens who are afraid of voting. Or, I'll throw out another example, calls to send people to monitor who's voting. Because, something might happen. You must go, you must watch at the polls because the election's going to be rigged. It's all a sad commentary on our democracy. So think about the first word for a minute, making democracy work. Well, that implies someone is doing it, right? It's elected officials, it's people whose job it is to run elections, it's voters' jobs. More than anything, this is up to the voters. And if you don't vote, if you don't get involved in the system, we're going to be in worse shape than I think we are right now. And that scares me. That scares me an awful lot to think about what could happen. I think we have to hold ourselves and the elected officials accountable. I think we have to ask candidates hard questions. Not the softball ones, but tell me really how you're going to do this. How are you going to break the gridlock in St. Paul? What are you going to do to fix our infrastructure? What are you going to do about rural broadband, my favorite topic? So I'm going to keep plugging that thing till I get some action because I'm tired of my Verizon bill. Which, by the way, I've told a couple of you this. I'm going to throw my numbers out there. If I'm lucky, my Verizon bill is $225 a month. And by the way, I live just 20 miles from here on Island Lake. If I go into DL, the max I would pay is $55 for unlimited. The worst bill I've had, just internet, $440 in 1 month. I don't watch YouTube videos, I don't download movies, I don't play online games, I don't do webinars, I don't do any of that stuff, and I micromanage my data. We need to fix that. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. Sorry. So you're all here tonight because obviously you care, right? Everybody here cares. I've heard it from several of you. Everybody talks about politics. You can go into any bar and there's a conversation. Any coffee shop, there's a conversation. But you know what? That's all well and good. You can go to the golf course, right? Talk to your buddies about golf. Yep. Talk about politics. Yep. You can go to book club. Do the same thing. Yeah, you can. But you know what? It's also another thing to be part of the team that's trying to make it better. And that to me is what League is. That's the work we do. That's what we believe in. And we need to do more of it. And that's why if you haven't yet joined, please do. This is a wonderful group. I think about the programs that have happened here in Park Rapids. Water quality, pipelines, so many good things. Yeah, the bees. Can't forget the pollinators. There are so many good programs. And at its core, the League is about voting rights. Because that's our founding, right? We have to get women the right to vote. Well, we got the right to vote. And now they're other people's voting rights. Other citizens who are seeing their voting rights being infringed upon. Who better to lead on this than the League? We've done it. We've been successful. We need to keep doing more of it because there's no one else filling that space. But here's the other thing. What do we really all care about? I care about my county, my schools, my water quality. I care about where I live. It's all local. Honestly, I don't care a lot about St. Paul until it affects me here. I don't care a lot about Washington until it affects me at home, right? And then we really care because now you're infringing on my life, my great nieces and nephews' lives. And it's about the services we want and need in our communities. And that's another reason why we need to be involved. Because if League isn't asking, if League isn't showing up, if League isn't writing letters to the editor or holding a forum, who is doing that work? Is there anybody here doing that work? Well, exactly. It's up to you as an individual. The League has an amazing reputation. That is one thing I have come to really appreciate. Whether it's on our national level, the state level, or the local level, the respect that League commands just moves me deeply. I've read some articles. I get a news feed from Google every day that's a summary of every article that mentions League of Women Voters in the nation. I don't read every article. I just go down the list. It's amazing to me in the last 6 months how many editorials, letters to the editor, political cartoons have said, where's the League of Women Voters? Why aren't they doing debates at the highest level? Where's the League? We need the League to get back involved. That's why we need to do this work. So, you know, we also do a lot of policy work. And that's, I think, a part. Right now, we all know, we're all about voter service. We're registering voters. Have any of you ever been to a citizenship ceremony? Okay. Yeah, I bet you have, Wendy. I I will tell you, it is the most moving thing I've ever done in League, right?
Yes,
To watch,
to be involved.
to be involved, to be registering new voters. A young man in an Army uniform, a woman who was close to 80, finally becoming a citizen. A woman who spoke perfect English, no accent. I was visiting with her, and she came from Germany 56 years ago. I looked at her and I said, "What the heck took you so long?" Terrified of taking the test. And she finally did it. I got to hold a newborn baby at one down in Fergus Falls as its mother became a citizen. Yeah, that to me is what this is about. It's about those opportunities. And you look at the people that are registering, you visit with them, you answer their questions. They are so excited. They are so proud to be a citizen and to vote. Many have never had that chance, or they've come from a country where they have no voice. And yet so many people here have a voice, have a vote, and don't use it. People have been saying to me lately, "I don't know that I'm going to vote. I don't want to vote. I don't like it." Okay, my answer is this, and you feel free to plagiarize. "Oh, so you don't care about your school? You don't care about your county? What do you think about the new jail the county wants to build? What do you think about the bond issue for the school? What do you think about services for the disadvantaged, for young mothers who don't have support?" And then you find out, oh, they really do care about those things. So then you go, I have to go vote. That's why League matters.